What is poppin' fight fans, and welcome back to another interview on the MMA Island. And I got a special guest today. He is a former UFC featherweight and lightweight, Bellator lightweight, Ultimate Fighter competitor, the man, Jury Jiu-Jitsu. Got him in the house, Myles. Jury, what's up, boss?
Thank you. Thank you for having me on, bro. Excited to be
Thank you
here.
for thank you for coming on. It's been a while. We haven't spoken to you. How you doing during this quarantine time? It's been a while since we've seen you fight.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm chilling, training, spending time with family. Just a lot of blessings, man. I'm healthy, and yeah, man, just crushing YouTube, training with my team, stacking real estate. Like, it's just doing good, man. Very good.
That's good. We're definitely going to get into that. Are you able to go to the gym? Are you still at Alliance?
Yes. Yep. I'm still at Alliance right now. I'm back home though in Michigan. Been spending some time with the family lately, and but yeah, I mean the gym kind of just meeting up with the team. We're on our own schedule right now because everything's going crazy. But been getting as many workouts in as I can.
Awesome. Glad to see you still getting some kind of workout in, because some people are stuck at home, not being able to get to do it. But you went from the UFC to Bellator. What do you think is the biggest difference between you when you were fighting with the UFC and you now being with Bellator?
Just UFC is just a massive. I mean, I just say it's more like corporate, man. This is really bigger, and Bellator is a little bit more of like a mom and pops. They're a smaller organization, but I mean, it's still the same thing. You know what I mean? It's you're fighting in a cage for a living, in some shorts, and it's a cage, the canvas. Uh, there's a couple of big differences. I guess I would say UFC does a really good job at like building up fights, and just like the fight this weekend. You got Connor, you got Poirier, and they do a great job just building that up. So the mass marketing of the UFC is huge. Bellator though, man, a lot of great competitors for me. They put me in some great positions, main event, co-main events, and dude, I mean, I'm excited for both. Great challenges in each organization.
That's awesome. And we remember, of course, you being on the Ultimate Fighter. You were on it one time, got sidelined by an injury, and then got on it the second time around. During that time when you had it was an ACL tear, right?
Yeah.
ACL tear. Was the most things you learned in that time period of being away?
Oh man, great question. Uh, so I guess the ACL, when I blew my knee out, man, put it into perspective. I'm 10-0 as a pro. I want to be in the UFC. At that time, I turned down offers from all the other organizations. Even back then, I turned down an offer from Bellator to be in the lightweight tournament at that time. And I wanted to be in the UFC, man. So I got on the Ultimate Fighter. I blew my ACL out, and Dana sent me home. He said, "Hey, dude, you can't stay here. You got to go home." And man, it was depressing, dude. I honestly, I wanted to I just wanted to go home back to Michigan, but I had a couple of good friends around me that said, "No, man, stay here, rehabilitate your leg. You're gonna get back in there. You're gonna get another opportunity to fight in the UFC." And it was just one of those moments where, like, I could have easily quit, but I just showed that I really wanted to be in the UFC. I wanted to make this as my career, and I dug down deeper, man, and I trained harder, and I came back, and I went on a roll.
Yeah, and then for somebody who's there's going to be the Ultimate Fighter again coming up in the summer. Any advice you'd give to a fighter being in that house, not being able to have a cell phone, have any connection to the outside world, or just like the mental capacity of that?
Yeah, man, I would say be yourself. You know what I mean? It's just be yourself and enjoy the moment. It goes quick. Like it's a lot of perceived pressure, but man, it's a great platform to build your name, build your brand, and to get the experience for once you get into the UFC to hit the ground running. Because what a lot of people don't understand is, you make it into the UFC, but you really haven't made anything, man. That's where the work starts. Like the money isn't anything yet. You have to build everything. Your claim to get to the top. You have to build from there. And the Ultimate Fighter for me was almost like it was a way to get a lot of experience without it counting against me. Against my record. And yeah, I would say somebody just enjoy the moment and be yourself.
Yeah. And you were out for 2 years after fighting Donald Cerrone. You trained with Dominic Cruz at Alliance MMA. Was there anything he taught you in that a matter of time? Because we know Dominic Cruz had a multitude of injuries. He was out for almost 4 years at one point. Was there anything he told you just to be like, mentally tough in that time period?
I actually blew my knee out before Dom started getting injured. So I actually was telling him,
Uh,
and you're gonna be okay. Just rehabilitate yourself. Take your time on the getting better, the recovery. And I just told him, I said, dude, look at me, man. I blew my knee out. I was out for a whole year, and look at me, I'm back and I'm doing better than I ever have. So don't listen to the doctors when they tell you that, you might not ever be the same, because that's a doctor. And I just told him, man, yeah, I was like, you can do it. You can come back from it. And he did.
so you have the YouTube videos out, which I've watched. They are amazing. You give the most amazing advice for fighters in the game. Was that the time period when you started to think, you know what, I need to start doing something else because I'm not making any money right now. I'm out for a long period of time. I need to find another way of bringing in income.
No, man. Like YouTube started for me probably after I lost to Feely and I left the UFC. That's kind of when I started the YouTube, and it honestly, like I've been a fan of YouTube. I watch YouTube all the time. I learn a lot of stuff there, and I just had a lot of doubt because I wanted to start my own channel, and I would always be like, oh, I don't have enough time, or oh, what if people laugh, or oh, what if nobody views it, or I like. I mean, to me, I love like real estate and finances and like, the game of Monopoly. And nobody's really doing that. Nobody's really talking about it in the fight game. So I had a lot of doubt at first, but I was like, you know what, man, I just need to do it because I don't want to have any regrets. And I started doing it, man, and it got a lot of love and putting a good message out there. You know what I'm saying? Be smart with your finances, get your money right, stack some real estate, fight, take that blood money, man, and turn it into long lasting wealth.
Yeah, and is that something you want to do maybe in the future? Maybe manage a couple fighters, have a full management company, and kind of teach these fighters what to do with their funds?
No, man. I honestly don't have any like goals to manage anybody. I've had a couple of fighters reach out to me and just ask questions, and I'm look like there's been a lot of people when I was on the come up that help pull me up with knowledge and experience when it comes to finances, money, investing, and I consider myself the type of person that I'm gonna try and lift somebody up. If I can educate them, if I can share an experience with them that'll better off their finances or their life, I'm gonna do it. And I don't have any goals to manage, but people that reach out, if I can help them with questions or anything, I always do that.
You think you write a book one day?
Mm, I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I right now, man, I want to focus on my fight career. Obviously, that's number one. That's my number one priority. Whenever I have a fight coming up, it streamlines everything, man. Everything gets pushed to the side, and I have my real estate portfolio. I'm building that, and on the back burner, man, I have my YouTube channel that I just want to keep kind of building that up. So with those three right there, I stay pretty busy.
That's awesome. And there's some fighters who talk about the expenses they pay to go get training, to pay their managers. Different money that goes in different places because they can get a check for $50,000 and that turns into $10,000 real fast after having a fight. Do you think it's smarter for a fighter to train maybe in a smaller camp so they're not spending as much money and maybe managing themselves, so not give that manager that percentage?
I feel like it's by person. To answer that question, it just goes by person. Like for
Yeah.
some people, I think it would make sense, but then for other people, I think it would make sense to have a manager, and that's just questions you got to ask yourself as a fighter. I don't believe the management game is what it was with the sponsors kind of taking away the platform. I don't see managers being worth what they were back in the day, like the 20%. But you still do need managers, because it's business, man. When you're in the business, I'm in the business of Myles Jury. Whoever the fighter is in the business for themselves, and you want a middleman to be arguing and getting you the best contract, the best money, because one day the big checks from the fights aren't going to be coming. Bellator, UFC, they're not going to be sending me money, checking on me, making sure I'm okay. So you have to really strike while the iron's hot, and it's a short career.
Yeah, and now you're on a 2-fight win streak in Bellator right now. I know you started off rough with a loss against Benson Henderson, but what was still your motivating factor to keep going and just like, you know what, that's just the first fight. I can keep pushing on to this.
Yeah, great question, man. I have God-given talent. I mean, this is what I was born to do. I was born to fight. It's just my talent that God gave me, and I don't want to waste that talent. I want to be the best fighter I can be. I'm young still. I'm just getting into my prime. I mean, my early 30s. The experience, that there's nothing like going in the cage and fighting another human being and coming out victorious and the high with that and the experience. I want that again. I want more money. I want to make more money. I want to increase my lifestyle. I want to have a better life for my family. And then I think, for me, one day I won't be able to do it. I cannot fight forever. So I want to make sure I'm seizing these opportunities. So when I look back at my life and I'm on my deathbed, man, that I don't have any regrets with my career.
Yeah, and you fought in featherweight and lightweight in the UFC. Do you think you'll fight in featherweight in Bellator? And what was the reason of not starting off in featherweight coming into Bellator?
Well, Bellator offered me the Benson Henderson fight right off tops.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't turn that opportunity like that to beat, somebody like Benson, who's a former UFC champion, who was basically the number one contender at the time. So it was at 155, and I just jumped on the opportunity. I keep getting bigger though, man. I mean, I'm just, I'm 5'11". I have a good reach. I'm getting more dense as I get older. So I don't see going back to 145 really in the cards right now. But you never know. This game's crazy. If I had a good opportunity, maybe, but probably not anytime soon.
Yeah. So is the end goal in Bellator to be that lightweight champion?
Always, man. Always
Yeah.
is the goal to be the champion. You know what I mean? It's if you're not trying to be the best and you're not trying to get that belt, then I don't know why really to do it. And I'm close to getting it, man. I'm talking with Bellator now. I feel like I'm definitely top 5 in Bellator. My next fight, depending on who it is, could be a number one contender fight. And titles, the title's there. But for me, I think I just focus on getting better each fight. I want to enjoy myself, enjoy the process, and the belt will come one day with the hard work and the preparation and the consistency.
If someone were to ask you today, who is Myles Jerry, what would be the answer?
Man, who is Myles Jerry? I would just say somebody who came from nothing, man, who overcame adversity after adversity and who had a winning mindset and who went for his goals, man. I mean, that's me. I was born. God, like I'm born to be great. I'm born to be great. That's what God made me. That's what God made all of us. So I'm tapping into that.
Something I always think about when I think of Myles Jury is always jury jiu-jitsu. Is there going to be a school maybe one day that you're going to start up fully?
Maybe, man. I don't know, because a school is a big commitment. You know what I mean? You have a gym, from what I've seen, it's a big commitment. So it might come. I'm definitely open to it. But as of right now, no, not right now.
For sure. So this weekend we've got a pretty big fight in the UFC. Conor McGregor's taking on Dustin Poirier, and I could not, ask you for a prediction if you had. We've spoken about it a lot, and if you watch a couple interviews and with different analysts, they keep telling you how McGregor can win. But why is anybody saying how Dustin Poirier can win, who's a pretty good fighter? Can you give maybe a take from his corner?
Look, man. I mean, Dustin Poirier is a dog. I mean, guy, man, he can take a shot. He can bang. He's got great takedown defense, a lot of experience, underrated boxing. He's tough, tough, tough. So if he can eat Conor shots, not go away, hang in there, keep roughing up Conor, keep the combinations coming, high pressure, high volume, mixing in, clinch work, takedowns. He's got a shot. Like I would be happy for him if he won, for sure. He's an underdog. And I wouldn't be crazy surprised if he won, just because of the type of person he is, falling down, getting back up through adversity after adversity. But with that being said, it is Conor McGregor, and stylistically, I think it's a tough matchup for him.
And then in the co-main event, we have former Bellator champion Michael Chandler taking on Dan Hooker. Any advice you have for Michael Chandler for being on that big stage of the UFC?
Yeah, man, I would just tell him to bite down and go for it. You know what I mean? Enjoy the moment. It goes quick, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever it is, it goes quick. And, I think we know what Chandler needs to do. He needs to let them hands go, land them on, Dan's body or on his chin. And if he can't do that, get some takedowns and just ground and pound the crap out of Dan.
Yeah. And Myles, of course, thank you so much for the time today. I appreciate it. But before you go, I always have one question I like to ask. What are 3 things that you are grateful for in your life right now?
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
That's number one thing in the morning. I think that'll change your life if you look at 3 things you're grateful for.
Yeah.
So for right now, I'd say my family, my health, and my career.
Absolutely. That's amazing. I think gratitude practicing in the morning changes the mental game big time. Myles, anything you want to say to the fans out there who's going to be watching you this year, at fights coming up, anything you want to tell them, and where to follow you, of course?
Definitely, man. Definitely. No, I appreciate the support, and yeah, man, just say what up to everybody, and enjoy the show. Hit me up on YouTube and hit me up on the gram.
Absolutely, Myles. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for coming on this show. We'll definitely talk again soon, before a fight or even after a fight. We'll be right back on here.
Awesome, my man. I appreciate it big time.
Thank you, Myles. The man, Myles Fury Jury. Love him. Great guy. We'll have him on the show again. He's going to be on Instagram Live right now on MMA Island. Catch him there. He'll be on in 10 minutes at 1:30. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you.